Hi everyone, it's your daily 10-minute business and finance news wrap for this Wednesday, the 3rd of November 2021. The Commonwealth Bank has become the first Australian bank to offer its customers cryptocurrency services, like the ability to buy, sell and hold Bitcoin. We'll have more on that in just a few moments, but first to the Australian share market, which did have its best one-day gain in 4 weeks. The ASX 200 up 0.9% to 7,392. All sectors rose, with the exception of technology. For more, including his take on cryptocurrencies, I spoke earlier with Adam Dawes from Shaw and Partners. Adam, the market is up today. Why?
Yeah, look, it's been a really good day. We came out of the gates pretty quickly, but then also we had some PMI numbers from China as well. They came in around about 53.8 versus about 53.4 in September. And look, anything over 50 means that their economy is growing. So certainly that was a fantastic one. More than 150 companies were in the green today, and certainly sectors like the banking sector, Macquarie, touching $200 again. The iron ore miners, after a disastrous day yesterday, started to rebound back today. And then we're certainly seeing some of the lithium and lithium miners also doing well, with that demand continuing to happen.
Yesterday, the Reserve Bank did away with its 2024 rate guidance, but what's the market thinking?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting one because I think the market was fairly well poised to understand what is actually going on. And certainly the RBA really sort of brought that to the forefront, I think. Certainly inflation is one of those big drivers that we're continuing to look at. And even today there was talk of $2 petrol around the suburbs of Melbourne and in Sydney as well. So that inflation is now going to start to bite. I think we're all aware that the RBA was going to raise rates a little bit earlier or be less accommodative. And look, I think that's somewhat of a good thing. That means the economy is starting to grow, and as interest rates start to rise, it will be okay for the stock market as well.
So given this inflationary environment and the fact that interest rates may start rising sooner than expected, does this change the way you're investing right now for your clients?
Yeah, it certainly does. We're definitely looking for more of potential value stocks in the market. A lot of the growth stocks will get hit as interest rate rises or start to happen. We're looking for value. We're also looking at REITs, so the real estate sector. They will also do very well as interest rates rise. We also look at the agri-businesses, so poultry, meat, those kinds of things. As people's wages start to rise, they potentially might do quite well out of it. And then we're also then really sort of looking at more of those, as I said, those value stocks to really start to move forward. But also the infrastructure plays. Remember, the user pay system, they can raise interest rates, so they can raise their rates with inflation to keep up with that. So some of those infrastructure stocks are a good investment at the moment.
And finally, I want to spend some time on cryptocurrencies because we've seen the Commonwealth Bank, one of the only banks in the world, to incorporate crypto into its banking app. What's your take?
Well, look, I think it's fantastic. I think that what it does is it shows the Commonwealth Bank is wanting to lead. Now, their lead is in home loans, their lead is in the technology side of things, and now they're looking to be a leader also, and really to compete with the PayPals or Square of the world, which already offer you to buy and sell crypto or use crypto to offer for goods. So, look, Commonwealth Bank's got 6.5 million users of their app, and this will work well for a lot of those younger investors or younger people in there. Now, Commonwealth Bank has also said that it'll only allow you to invest, not to pay for services. So it's just an investment side of things. And they've said only 10 cryptocurrencies. So it's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then a multitude of those. So you won't be getting a lot of these smaller coins that are out there, because that, I think, is going to be too high risk. Another thing is the regulation side of things. Now, they've already done their Know Your Client rule, so they don't have to go through all of that again, because it's only going to be for clients that are CBA clients going forward. So you have to be a client of CBA. And so there's a lot going on. Obviously, the market has gone from $200 million in 2019 to now to $2.6 trillion today. So Commonwealth Bank is definitely seeing that as a way to get some of that extra share of that wallet going forward. Only 8% of Australians have invested in cryptocurrency at the moment. So this is a really big field for these guys to come through. But the driving force is going to be demand, and then it's going to be risk. So it's certainly a small step for Commonwealth Bank, but certainly a large step or a bigger step for the Australian financial services sector. So it's going to be interesting to see and one to watch, certainly.
Adam Dawes there from Shaw and Partners, and of course it comes as the Bitcoin price hovers at around record highs. So for more on the Commonwealth Bank's move, Raina Sarampayat spoke with Eric Lim from the University of New South Wales Business School, who is also the founder of the UNSW Crypto Clinic.
If you are a crypto enthusiast like I am, yeah, I think it is a pretty big deal because it just means that one of the biggest banks in Australia actually kind of like gives it legitimacy, or at least kind of like in the eyes of mainstream consciousness, cryptocurrency is here to stay. That's how I see the phenomenon, or this event.
All right. So what about the risks? Obviously, price volatility is one, but what about security? I mean, they've partnered with a couple of firms, they say, as sort of top notch in terms of looking at that and anti-money laundering, that kind of thing. The way you see it, how are
the CommBank actually has a huge user base of their products and services. And the fact that CommBank is a financial institution in compliance with the laws of Australia, what that means is that the user base have already complied with all the Know Your Customers compliance regulations and any anti-money laundering regulations that the financial institutions such as CommBank has really put in place. So, and CommBank serving as a gateway for this huge number of user base to actually come into the crypto space is actually quite, I would say, healthy for the space.
So you think what they've set up for security is enough? I mean, or not? And what do you say about regulation?
Well, okay, there are different things in the sense that if you're talking about security, as in whether CommBank has the necessary technical expertise to kind of protect the user's assets, right? That means basically to prevent something like a hack that actually happened to a lot of exchanges in the past. Like, for example, the Mt. Gox incidents, where a lot of people's Bitcoins were actually stolen from the exchange. Now, I'm sure that CommBank, if they were able to secure most of their users' banking accounts to ensure that money hasn't been lost and things like that, they must have had experience in dealing with technical cybersecurity matters, right? As for a security with regards to compliance with laws, I think Australia has a pretty comprehensive regulatory framework with regards to regulating financial institutions. So I don't see that as too much of a concern, right? Whereas if you are a new user, a newcomer coming into the crypto space and doing it on, by your own, then you might actually be faced with a higher hurdle than if you haven't had CommBank as a third party to actually, take custody of your assets. Even though, if you ask me, I'm not a big fan of a third party taking custody of my crypto assets, because the whole principle behind this space is self-custody. But that's a different story.
Just finally, so the Squid Game crypto token collapses, an apparent scam. What would you say about that?
Okay, look, this happens so many times in this space, and the thing is that it's not without precedence. And I'm just kind of sad that people tend not to learn from history. But I can understand that when people or when individuals actually invest, quote unquote, invest in coins like that, they should know what they're in for. It is pure speculation and it is pure gambling. Whereas there are other projects in this space that have been around and they have shown good track records. Those are the kind of projects that are solid. Whereas tokens or projects like the Squid Game, they haven't had that, and there's no roadmap for them to actually progress beyond being a meme token at the current moment. So people who got into that project thinking that they're going to make millions or billions out of it, they know, or they should know, that the risk that they're facing.
Rana Sarampait there, speaking with Eric Lim from the University of New South Wales Business School. This On The Money stream is provided for informational purposes only. The content in this stream should not be understood as constituting advice or a recommendation. It's not personal advice and it doesn't consider your personal circumstances or objectives. You should contact a licensed professional before making any financial decision.